Policymakers and politicians, they react to material constraints. And so this is the whole framework that I've really been emphasizing. And it's not just my framework. It's a framework used by intelligence agencies, by political risk consultancies. I modified it a little bit for investors. And so policymakers react to constraints. So what are some of the constraints? Well, if you're running a country like, Peru, long-dated bond yields are probably a constraint. You don't want to anchor the bond market if you are not printing a reserve currency, as an example. But the ultimate constraint in democracies, and I would argue in softer authoritarian regimes as well, is the median voter. And the median voter is obviously a philosophical concept. They don't exist. But it's this idea that there are important issues of the day. We're not talking like something that's a side issue, but important issues of the day, the median voter has a view. And you don't want to be offside of that median voter on their view. And so politicians are going to approximate the policy preferences of the median voter because it's a constraint to a policymaker. If you're offside the median voter, an opposition party will elbow you out on the curve of distribution of preferences, and they'll get closer to the median voter and win the election. A good example of this, is Donald Trump. Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton handily, with voters making $60,000 to $100,000 a year in 2016. In 2020, right before the election, he took bad advice from Senator Mitch McConnell and did not stimulate with the third check right ahead of the election. And that $60,000 to $100,000 voter, a very important, pivotal American middle-class voter, overwhelmingly swung from Donald Trump in 2016 to Joe Biden in 2020. So Democrats recaptured kind of the lower middle-class voter. And that's a good example where, Donald Trump misjudged just how committed the median voter was during the pandemic to basically redistribution, a very non-American type of a stimulus. And I think that cost him the election. But that's an example of where being offside of median voter can be immediately a problem.